Welcome to another episode of Mr. Mustache Craps. Today we're going to do part 2 of the craps table build, and we are going to hopefully get it finished up today. So we got the undercarriage done, and I put end caps on underneath the table for extra stability for the end wall. You'll see that momentarily, but that's already been completed. So we still have screws that we need to put in the deck surface, and we have the ones that we already put in, and those are going to need to be caulked over, for lack of a better term, but I'm going to use a construction adhesive because it cures to the same strength as the PVC board. So I'm going to go ahead and run the last few screws in, and then we're going to fill them and smooth them, and then get ready to build the walls. Now, with these deck screws, they're perfectly fine to use in the middle of the board, but you do not want to use them on the end because the flared head will cause very easily cause this to crack and chip and break out, and you don't want to do that. But in the middle part of the board, it's perfectly safe to use them, and also making sure that they are countersunk. Okay, so that was the remaining screws from the ribs. So now I'm going to put the adhesive on. All right. I scrape them smooth like that. Okay, so the next step we're going to do is put the felt onto the table. It'll be easier to put it on and make neater edge cuts rather than doing it once the side walls are on and the end walls are on. So with Madeline's help, we're going to take the black felt and we're going to fold it over up to the 2x4. That's just helping to hold it down so the breeze doesn't get it. Go ahead and we'll do that now. And then I'm going to try an experiment. I'll let you know how it works out. But I'm going to put a thin coating of the construction adhesive over the surface because it's so tacky. I think it'll do good, and if I put a thin enough coat, it won't seep through and ruin the felt. Fold it back over. You want to make sure it's right up to the edge, all the way along. Perfect. It's looking wonderful. And then, yes, smooth out any potential ribs or bumps. I think that adhesive might work really well. Awesome. Okay, so we let it cure for about 10-15 minutes, and the residue seems to be pretty well cured. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to glue down the other side. And then after that, once that cures, then we can go ahead and trim it up and put sidewalls on. All right. And again, we smooth it out so there's no ripples or wrinkles. And I'm pushing pretty firmly, but not enough to stretch the felt. The felt is on good. It's firm. It's tight enough. But again, I'm not, yes, it is hot. Again, I'm not stretching it out either. And it seems to be adhered quite well around the edges. So I'm glad, because I was concerned whether we maybe should have pulled it over the edge to help the sidewall hold it. But doesn't seem like that's going to be an issue. And if it is, I can always touch it up. Okay, so to cut the sidewalls, I was going to use my table saw, but the guide on it does not go out to 16 inches. So a standard craps table wall is, I believe it's about 11.5 to 11.75 inches. But I mean, for our purpose, it doesn't have to be precise. Like I said, it's not going to be regulation. So being we have the board, it's 48 inches wide. I'll cut it into 3 strips of 16 inches each. So I'm going to go ahead and start marking the first cut, and then I will use my circular saw to make it. Looks good. Okay, and there's our first side rail. I'll set this out the way, and we'll repeat for the next one. Right, this should be 16 inches. Perfect. So why did I choose 16 inches? Well, the 1x4s will add 3 3/4 inches to their height. This way I can secure it to that. And then you have the 1/2 inch of the PVC board. That's the playing deck. So that would equal 4 1/4 inches. So then we'll have essentially 11 3/4 inches up above the playing field. And for my purposes, that's good enough. It's a throwing box. To put the walls on, the center of the end of the table is going to be about here. And then it's going to come out and then wrap around the edges. In order to make this wrap around, being it's a 1/2 inch thick and pretty stiff, I'm going to have to cut little notches into it about every 1/2 inch. And being that it's 3/4, I mean, it's 1/2 inch thick, I have to cut less than that. So I have my blade set for a depth of a little bit less than 3/8 of an inch. So it should leave about 3/16 of an inch, which will be for the outside. All right, so I made 24 cuts in each one. They are a ½ inch apart. So we're going to set the base of the table back up and then see how it fits, see if I need to make any more cuts, or hopefully I won't have to. Hopefully it'll just wrap around nicely and secure easily without snapping. Okay, so on the side rails, which are also the end boards, I've made the kerf cuts. That's what they're called, K-E-R-F. And it will allow flexibility within the board so it can make the corners. So we're going to go ahead, I'm going to apply adhesive onto the end and drive 1, maybe 2 screws in after we've made sure that the board is flush on the bottom on all 3 sides. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with that now. Okay, as you can see, we got both sides put on, and it wasn't too hard to put on, but not super easy either. So now we have the gap here and the gap on the other side. So from the 3rd strip that I cut from the main sheet, we're going to measure, and then on the bottom and the top, cut to fit, screw them in, use adhesive on the sides to help hold it, and then I'm going to let that sit for a little bit. So let's get started. Well, as you can see, I've completed the outdoor table. After I put the walls up, I took the remaining strip from the 3. I cut pieces to fit between here and here and here and here. And I just put them in place and secured them in the same way I did down below using the adhesive and screws. And then I added these pieces for stability, just to help the joint keep tight longer, not flex as much. So it's essentially all done. I got the alligator skin on. Unfortunately, only one of them arrived, so I'm still waiting for the one for the other end. Such is life. I put the game mat down, and it's ready to roll. The only thing I might do after the fact is maybe get the thin 1/4-inch PVC board and just run it along here on both sides, but that's only for appearance's sake. I could just use spray paint or some other paint and make it look a little bit prettier. Again, it's only cosmetic, and it's an outdoor craps table, not one you'll be seeing in a casino anytime soon. So good luck with your craps, and I wish you best of luck. Thank you for joining me for this build. It's been a very fun video to make.